Hello, I'm Emma, and welcome to English Now.
Hello, this is Alex. Great to be here. Today we're diving into something really practical.
We are indeed. This is episode 4, and we're talking all about daily routines and telling time.
Yeah, think about it, making plans, understanding schedules, just getting through the day, really. It all comes down to talking about what we do and, crucially, when we do it.
Exactly. And our focus for this episode is how these things work in, well, everyday American English. We've got some good material to walk through.
So our mission today, basically, is to help you get comfortable talking about your day and understanding and saying the time. Sound good?
Sounds perfect. Let's jump right in. So our sources point first to some key grammar, right? The foundation.
Absolutely. And first up is the simple present tense.
Mhm.
You really can't talk about routines without it. It pops up everywhere when people describe what they do regularly.
Right. It's like the default setting for habits. For IU, the verb just stays the same, the base form, like get up, eat, go.
And this is a key point from the sources for he, she, or it. You usually need that S on the end. So it becomes gets up, eats, goes.
Yeah, that little S makes a big difference. It signals that regular action for someone else.
Definitely. And then to specify when these things happen, we need time expressions. Our sources highlight the common ones.
Okay, like in the morning.
Exactly. Generally sunrise until noon, give or take. An example might be, I usually check my emails in the morning.
Got it. And after that.
It comes in the afternoon. So from noon until, say, about 6 p.m. The example we saw was she often has meetings in the afternoon.
Okay, makes sense. Then in the evening.
Right, sort of 6 p.m. until whenever you head to bed. Something like they sometimes go for a walk in the evening.
And finally, at night.
Yeah, at night. When it's dark, usually when people are sleeping, the sources keep it simple. Most people sleep at night. Pretty straightforward at these broad categories.
They are, but very useful. What about specific times?
Ah, right. For pinpointing exact moments, we use at plus the time. Like, he starts his workout at 7 a.m. or the train arrives at 3:45 p.m. Both examples from our materials.
And what about days of the week?
Good point. You use on plus the day.
Yeah.
Like, I catch up on reading on Sundays. And notice, if you make the day plural, like on Mondays, it usually means every Monday. It implies that routine.
That's, again, doing important work.
It really is. Now, another layer our sources emphasize is adverbs of frequency. These tell us how often we do things.
Okay, words like always or sometimes.
Precisely. And the key thing, usually, is where they go in the sentence. The rule of thumb is before the main verb.
But after the verb to be, like am, is, are.
Exactly. So you'd say she always makes her bed, but she is always on time. See the difference?
So what are the main adverbs here?
Well, the sources list them kind of like on a scale. Always is at 100%, like she always makes her bed.
Okay.
Then usually maybe 80, 90%. He usually takes the stairs. Often is a bit less, maybe 60, 70%. They often have lunch together. Sometimes sits around the middle, maybe 30, 50%. I sometimes work from a coffee shop.
Makes sense.
Then we get down to rarely or seldom, which are pretty similar, maybe 5, 10%. We rarely eat fast food.
Not very often at all.
Nope. And finally, never. 0%. He never misses his morning coffee.
That's a clear scale. And remembering the placement before the main verb after to be?
That's the main takeaway. Okay, ready to tackle telling time itself.
Let's do it. How do Americans typically say the time?
Well, the most direct way, according to our sources, is just hour, then minutes. So 7.10 is 7:10.
Okay, simple
Oh.
enough. 8:30.
8:30. 9.45 is 9:45.
What if there's a 0, like 2.05?
Ah, good one. You often hear 2:05, we say O for the 0.
Oh, right, like a letter O, and for the exact hour, like 7 or...
Then that's when we use a clock. So 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
But only for the exact hour.
Got it. 7, 10, not 7, 10 o'clock.
Exactly. But there are other ways too, a bit more descriptive. For 15 minutes past the hour, like 7.15.
7:15.
Yep. Or you might hear a quarter after 7 or quarter past 7. Our sources mention both.
A quarter, like a quarter of an hour, makes sense.
Yep.
What about 30 minutes past, like 8:30?
You can say 8:30, which is very common, or half past 8.
Half past. Okay, and the other side, like 15 minutes before the hour, 8.45.
Right. You can say 8:45, or you can say a quarter to 9, or sometimes a quarter till 9.
Quarter to the next hour. Okay, that covers the main ways.
Pretty much. And don't forget AM and PM. Crucial distinction.
Right. AM is morning, PM is afternoon and evening.
Yep. AM runs from midnight up to noon. PM is noon to midnight. So it's 7 a.m. is morning, 7:08 p.m. is evening. Totally different times for, say, a meeting.
Definitely need to get that right. And the basic question,
Yes. Simply, what time is it?
And the answer starts.
Usually it is, or more commonly the contraction, so what time is it? It's 10:30 a.m.
Perfect. Okay, that's a solid look at the grammar and time-telling mechanics. Should we move on to vocabulary?
Absolutely. Knowing the right verbs for daily actions is key. Our sources list quite a few common ones.
Let's start at the beginning of the day. Get up.
Means wake up and actually get out of bed. An example.
Yeah.
I get up at 6 a.m. on weekdays.
Okay. Then brush teeth. Pretty essential.
You'd hope so. The example is he always brushes his teeth before going to bed.
And take a shower or take a bath.
Right. Washing yourself. She usually takes a shower in the morning to wake up.
Then meals. Eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner.
Yep. The main meals. They eat dinner together around 8 p.m., for example.
What about leaving the house? Go to work or go to school?
Exactly. Traveling to your job or place of study, I go to work by bicycle.
And when you arrive and begin?
That's start work or start school. Example. My work starts at 9:30 a.m.
And the end of the workday or school day?
Finish work or finish school. Like she finishes school at 3 p.m.
Then returning.
Go home. We go home as soon as work is over.
Okay, some evening activities. Watch TV.
Yep, just watching television. They sometimes watch TV after dinner.
And for learners, study.
Crucial verb. Learning about subjects. He studies for his exams every evening.
And finally, the end of the day.
Go to bed. Time for sleep. I usually go to bed around 11 p.m.
We also mentioned a clock again in the vocabulary.
Right, just reinforcing it for the exact hour. The concert starts at 7 o'clock.
And AM, PM again, emphasizing the difference.
Yeah, the example question was, is the appointment at 10:00 a.m. or 10:00 p.m.? Very important.
And the parts of the day, morning, afternoon, evening, night.
I feel most productive in the morning was one example sentence.
And those adverbs of frequency again. Always, usually, often, sometimes, never.
All right, tied into routines. She never drinks coffee in the evening.
Okay, that's a great list of core vocabulary. So how does this all sound in, like, a real conversation?
Well, our sources give us a couple of examples. First, a chat about routines between Ahmed and Sarah.
How does it go?
Ahmed asks, what time do you usually get up, Sarah?
And Sarah says,
I usually get up at 7:30 a.m. I then have a quick breakfast and get ready for the day. See? Simple present, adverb, time expression.
nice and natural. What else does Ahmed ask?
He asks, and what time do you start work?
Sarah replies,
I start work at 9 a.m. The commute takes about half an hour. Again, simple present, specific time.
okay. And finishing work.
Ahmed asks, when do you typically finish? Sarah says, I usually finish around 5:00 p.m. and then I head home.
So that dialogue really pulls together the grammar points we discussed.
Exactly. It shows how it flows. There's also a shorter one about just asking the time between Maria and David.
Oh, yeah. What happens there?
Maria asks, excuse me, do you know what time it is?
Polite way to ask.
David checks his watch and replies, it's 10:15. Using that alternative form we talked about. Maria then says, oh, perfect. My appointment is at 10:30. I still have a bit of time.
And David just confirms.
Yep. Yes, you do. Just a quick, practical exchange.
Those examples are helpful. You can really hear how it all fits together.
Definitely. So now maybe it's time for our listeners to try it out.
Yes, practice time. Okay, first challenge. What time is it right now, where you are?
Yeah, look at a clock or your phone. Try saying the time out loud in English. Maybe it's 3:45 p.m. or it's 9:05 a.m.
Good one. Next, describe your morning. Just 2 or 3 sentences.
Try using the simple present, a time expression, maybe an adverb of frequency, like I get up at 7 a.m., I always eat breakfast, I go to work at 8:30 a.m., something like that.
Perfect. Okay, now think about your routine more broadly. What's one thing you always do?
And one thing you sometimes do.
And one thing you never do?
For example, I always brush my teeth. I sometimes watch TV. I never skip breakfast. Just simple sentences about your habits.
And one last practice point.
Practice asking. Form the question, what time do you, and then add an activity. What time do you get up? What time do you eat lunch? What time do you go to bed? Ask yourself, or imagine asking someone.
That active practice really helps cement it, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. It moves it from just listening to actually using the language.
So let's wrap up what we've covered in this episode. It feels like quite a bit, but it's all connected.
It is. We focused on describing daily routines using that key grammar point, the simple present tense.
Right, and pairing that with time expressions in the morning, at night, at 7 a.m., and so on.
We also layered in adverbs of frequency always, usually, sometimes never, to show how often things happen.
And crucially, we covered asking for the time, what time is it, and the different ways to tell time, like it's 2:30 p.m. or it's 4:45.
Plus, we built up that essential vocabulary for common daily activities.
So the big picture is that listeners should now feel a bit more equipped to talk about their day and understand schedules, timings, that sort of thing.
That's the goal. It's really practical, everyday stuff.
Definitely. And the key, as always, is practice, practice, practice.
Try using it. Describe your day, even just in your head. Notice the time and say it to yourself in English.
Okay, well, that brings us towards the end of this episode number 4 on daily routines and telling time.
We really hope you found it useful and feel a bit more confident with this topic.
Absolutely. And remember, keep practicing. Maybe describe your routine to a friend or just narrate your day to yourself. It works.
And don't be shy about asking, what time is it? It's a great, simple way to practice.
We know learning language takes effort, but hopefully breaking it down like this makes it feel a bit easier, maybe even enjoyable.
That's certainly our aim here at English Now.
So what's next? What are we tackling in the next episode?
Next time we're shifting gears a bit, getting more personal.
Ooh, intriguing.
We'll be looking at likes, dislikes, hobbies, and free time.
Oh, that sounds fun. So talking about what we enjoy doing.
Exactly. How to express your preferences, what you love doing, what you're not so keen on. It's great for connecting with people.
Yeah, definitely. So whether you're into sports or books or art or cooking.
Or anything else. We'll give you the language tools to share your passions and interests.
Sounds like a great topic. So we hope you'll join us for episode 5.
Please do. Until then, keep up with your English practice. Have a fantastic week.
Goodbye for now, and we'll see you next time on English Now.